When I was a young boy, my father took me into the city to see a marching band. He said, son, when you grow up, would you be the savior of the broken, the beaten, and the damned?
I don't think that they'd understand when everything's made to be broken. I just want you to know who I am. Don't show up, don't come out, don't start caring about me now. Walk away, you know how. Don't start caring about me now. Here I go.
Watch me take a good thing and fuck it all under one night. Catch me, I'm the one on the run away from the headlights. No sleep, up all week, wasting time with people I don't like. I think something's fucking wrong with me.
GM. I think that we're live. Should be. Let me know how volume is on everything. If I need to mess with mess with the desktop audio. If it's too loud. Whatever. I mean, just haven't done a live stream in a minute, so figured I'd go ahead and fire one up. Dude, one of the things I want to check out on here, I heard that you can like bring guests up on your live stream. Is that true? Actually, I'm not going to do it from that screen because that'll be just Inception for y'all. So we're not going to do it there. I will try it over here on another screen real quick. Because I think the idea, the concept of doing a live stream, but in a similar manner to Spaces where you could just bring random people up to join the stage with you is pretty cool. So let's see this. There probably is a way, and I just don't know exactly what that way is right now. But I'm going to click on this, and we're going to see. No, I don't want to block y'all. Okay, I don't know. I could have sworn that I saw that there was a way to be able to do it. Like, I tried Googling this a little bit ago, and it looked like it. I thought it was as simple as just clicking, like, let me see something. Can I bring people on stage with me during a video live stream on X? Dude, that is one thing I do not want on the feed. Okay, it says, yes, you can bring other people into your live stream, but that depends on the live streaming. So using X Spaces, oh, you have to do X Spaces with video. Okay, it's good to know. So if I fired this up as a space, and then incorporated video, I could do it. Not sure if I really want to do that. Either that or I'd have to do like a restream app, which I could do. I could do restream and like just bring up guests if anybody ever wants to come on, but I'm trying to explore a little bit more of that. Yeah, you know, like at the end of the day, hearing my voice is cool. But hearing y'all's voices, having a discussion's better because I really liked that aspect of it whenever I was hosting spaces. And I might even host a space again here in a little bit. We'll see. But shout out to anybody that is here right now. The market's been down. Vibes are still up. Still believe that... I still believe things aren't over yet. You know, we talked about this on stream the other day. And I'll run it back for those of you guys who missed it. But... shoot, which one did I use? Did I use... I might still have the drawings on here somewhere. I don't know. Anyway, man, I think the thing that I showed is... Well, actually, shoot. Let's start with this. We're going to start with this. This is what we've been watching. If you have been paying attention to anything that I've been posting for a while, I've been sharing the comparison. I've been tracking this comparison really since back here in April, May, of the recovery that we're looking at here from the tariff sell-off in stocks to the recovery that we had from the COVID crash, right? So... extreme sell-off, market panic induced. Everybody said it was over. Market started to bounce back, and it V'd up to all-time highs. And at a certain point, everybody was saying, we're overextended. Things are going to go ahead and sell off here. There's no way that they can continue to rally. And we did get a sell-off, and that happened right around beginning of September of 2020. September was a rough month. Ended up finding a bottom here, but if you remember the bottom here, people were drawing lines across this, and they were saying, shoot, like, it's done for, right? You know, look at this. We're going to go ahead and crash back. There's no way that we hold the highs. Like, this was just a fake rally. We're going to nuke back to zero. And what ended up happening, ranged for a little bit. That ended up being the base for that range. After a couple months actually, ended up rallying higher highs, and we continued for, you know, the next year plus as far as that rally higher in equities. Okay, again, let's look at where we are right now. You can look at right here. A couple days ago in the market, a lot of people were saying, shoot, it's over. You know, look at that collapse. You know, again, we've rallied too hard after that sell-off. There's no way that this can continue. We're going to go ahead and nuke back to zero. And this is happening in equities, right? You know, NVIDIA was overbought. NVIDIA was overhyped. The AI play was dead. You know, the Fed's not cutting rates like we expected them to. It's just not in the cards anymore. So what happens next? Do we die? Does it go to zero? No, the market ends up recovering. And I literally just stole this price action right here from that tariff bounce. And, you know, it's mirroring it pretty damn well so far. So let's just say that it does continue to play out the same. Again, get a little bit of a range. And what do? We continue higher from there. Now, the interesting thing that I drew the parallel to back during the last stream was this, right? Like, when you looked at what was happening to Bitcoin during this same stretch, and not just Bitcoin, but alts as well, right? Like, Bitcoin, I'm going to just do this, make it a little bit, a little bit more granular. Bitcoin, after this crash right here, you know, it bounced. It had not hit anywhere near its all-time highs yet. It was boring. It had recovered a lot, right? Like, it recovered the crash, and it was ranging. And this is the COVID crash, right? Like, back in 2020. And then finally, like, you know, July, it looked like things were picking back up for Bitcoin. August looked like it was going to be a good month. And then what happens whenever equities crashed beginning of September? Bitcoin did too. And it completely erased any bit of excitement that we saw from earlier that year. And it looked like things were over once again. Because, I mean, again, like if you drew just any type of trend line here, boom, dude, this did not look good. It looked like we were not just going to BART back to the beginning of the breakout, but it looked like we were going to nuke back all the way back to the lows, right? Like that was what you heard if you were active and around during that time frame. What ended up happening? It only retraced to the beginning of that breakout right there, found support right near the breakout there, and ended up ranging for a little bit, ran it back to the highs, and we ended up seeing the beginning of the bull market. And at the same time, right, like it wasn't until about here that Bitcoin really started to become sexy versus equities. The rest of that year, it wasn't at all. And the rest of that year, altcoins really weren't either. The alt market was dead. You had a little bit of action with what was happening in the DeFi circuit. But outside of that, like the L1 trade, kind of non-existent. ETH was lagging. Everything else was as well. So fast forward to where we are today and what's happening again. You know, we lost this high time frame support line, right? Like tracing back, heck, you can trace it back to there. I mean, but you know, this is dead. I mean, another one. You can draw, I've seen each one of these lines that people have drawn, and each one looks just as bad as the other, right? So the market's dead, right? Like that is what people are trying. And again, during this whole run up, Bitcoin hasn't been nearly as sexy as what we have seen. Hasn't been nearly as sexy as what we've seen with equities, right? Because realistically, where did the COVID crash happen with equities? It happened in April, March of this year. And when you look at April, March of this year, where was Bitcoin? Shit, like we just basically retraced that entire thing. The entire move up from the tariff crash has been erased. But where have we found support? Just like we did in September 2020. You know, ended up finding support right along that horizontal where this entire move started. So the BART looks a little bit different, time frame's a little bit extended, but I think there's a similar narrative and a similar story that's happening right now in the broader market, and a similar reason for why I don't think it's necessarily over quite yet. You know, if anything, if this does mark the same parallel from where we were from that COVID recovery with equities, this is where things start to actually possibly get exciting for crypto. So yeah, you know, like again, Bitcoin's the most important thing to look at here, because as Bitcoin goes, Bitcoin is the king, the rest of the market goes with it. So we're going to pivot here, and we're going to talk a little bit about alts. We're going to talk a little bit about Monad. We're going to talk a little bit about all the different things that have been popping up recently. But before we do anything else, one of the things I want y'all to do real quick is go over here to X, go to my profile. Don't click your profile icon, click mine. Hit this, hit the like, hit the retweet button, come in here, and just type anything. I'm going to type Run It Back Turbo. But, you know, give it a share, bring more people in. I think the more people that are in here, the more fun that these type of streams are. I mean, realistically, like there aren't many of us that are on here right now, right? The market has been down. And people are more chronically online when their bags are doing better, right? Like they're looking for opportunity whenever opportunity feels present. And right now it feels like we've been robbed of opportunity recently, right? Like, but again, that's why I'm drawing the parallels back to where we were in 2020 when everybody thought everything was dead at that point as well. That, you know, I've seen this market die too many times and come back stronger. I believe too much in the overall fundamental thesis of Bitcoin. I believe too much in the technology. I believe too much in the synergies of this industry as a whole. It just is. I don't see any way that it's over yet. Opportunity usually presents itself to the people in this space that are patient enough to wait for it, right? And what's my take on the Clippers? Are you talking about the NBA? Dude, the Clippers are awful. And I love the fact that the Clippers are awful because I'm a huge Thunder fan. I think that's what you're talking about, the Clippers. Because the Thunder get the Clippers picked this year. And even though that they're going to have the best record in NBA history and win another championship, they're going to still end up with a top 10 lottery pick from the Clippers. It's incredible. So, yeah, man. Like, and the Clippers are just old. Oh, the Clippers that clip lives. Okay. That's funny. I like, in the context, to be fair, for the context of what you just said, you know, like I'm an NBA guy. I'm a basketball head. It just made sense. But in the context of streaming, I'm a big fan of Clippers. I am bullish on Clippers because the Clippers don't really have to do the work of getting their faces out there. They just have to like look for the best parts of a stream, do the work that the streamers like myself are a little bit too lazy to do, and then I just throw them a retweet as long as what I said I didn't sound like too much of an asshole. So I love Clippers. I will, like, if you clip any of my stuff, I'll most likely just throw it a retweet, give it some love. You'll probably get the most views that you've ever had on any post you've ever done. Like my bro Spicy Rich has clipped some of my stuff before, and he ended up getting like, shoot, it usually ends up, if it's a bad repost by me, you might get 30,000 impressions on that clip. If it's a good one, you know, you're looking, you know, an okay one, the average is about 50,000 impressions that you're going to get from that retweet. And a good one, you know, you're going to get hundreds of thousands. So do it. Yeah, if you clip it, I'll look for it. You know, just check this. Give me a tag. I'll give it a retweet. So clip away, ladies and gentlemen. But this is, you know, it's just fun to hang out sometimes. I appreciate the chat. So thank you, chat, for being active and typing in here. But yeah, you know, like, if you're just joining, I just kind of went through my thesis. I'm not going to recap the entire thing, but the thesis of why I don't really believe the market's dead. I think there's a good chance that this is the moment of highest opportunity right now when a lot of people are too scared to really do anything. And for anybody that's around, I mean, I think that, again, man, it doesn't really take much in this space. It just takes really, like, there's one thing that Frank posted yesterday that I have agreed with. The first thing that he's posted that I've really agreed with for a really long time, and I think it's going to continue to be true. The people that have won the most in this previous cycle and the people that will continue to win the most in the next cycles are the people that are the most chronically online. So, like, if you're here, you're present, you know the narratives, you've been participating in the metas, opportunity is going to present itself. You might have nothing at this point in time. You might feel like you have been stripped bare from what has happened previously, you know, over the course of the past year with the chop that we've experienced. But again, a lot of people are in the same boat late 2020. And, you know, if we're really in that similar type boat where, you know, I think it's just an extended time frame. All this comes from the comparison to QQQ, the recovery with where the tech index is versus where it was after the COVID recovery. Again, Bitcoin, I'm going with a similar story here. What happened there? Everything retraced, looked like it was over. Again, everything here retraced, looks like it's over. But really, you know, again, if this is a similar moment where things end up recovering, rallying, and where it really just begins. So the Christmas rally, the Santa rally that we've talked about, I don't think is really dead yet. I think that there's a real possibility. I think that there also is a real possibility. I drew this in my stream the other day. Oh shoot, that's not what I want to do because that is a super wide highlighter margin. I think I drew something like this. I think there's a good possibility that we do range in this base area for a bit, so I don't think it's one of those things you have to ape full bore and, you know, I think you've got a little bit of time. Honestly, like, probably is a little bit safer as you wait for a confirmation for some of this to be reclaimed. But, like, I don't think now's the time to walk away. So, the parallel to all of that, for your alt bags that you're asking, like Pengu, for instance, I put this out with Pengu the other day. Dude, I'm still as bullish as you can possibly be on Pengu. The narrative just makes sense. Is it going to follow this exact line? No, I don't expect it to follow this exact line. This is just me using previous price action in this case, just because, again, you know, it's easier, more fun, makes a better drawing to just throw previous price action on here than me to, like, take some squiggles and do, right? So that's the main purpose of this. Don't say, Cleo, this is off with, like, this is not me posting the exact fractal, expecting this exact thing will happen. But I think something that's interesting here to note, 111 days here from basically the peak to the base. And a lot of people, again, at this point, were like, damn, the Pengu story died. It's over. I'm going to move this up so you can, my face doesn't fully block it for y'all. But a lot of people were like, damn, the Pengu story's dead. 90% plus down. How is it going to come back from that? What ended up happening? A couple green candles at a time, right? It found a base, ranged for a little bit. And when it started to send, and when the market started to pick back up from that dip, it was the fastest horse in the group. And why? I think because the team positioned itself. They did the work when the market was down here to bear the fruit when the market started to go back up. So they ended up being the fastest horse. So a lot of distribution during this period. I mean, again, when you do an airdrop the size that they did, you expect that type of distribution to happen. With any type of new coin, with any type of new meta, you expect that to happen. And remember, this is less than a year old right now. So had a massive move back to the highs. And everybody was extremely loud about Pengu during that run. But again, as the market has gone down and Pengu's gone down too, a lot of the voices that were bullish on Pengu during the run up right here and bullish when they got their airdrop there are all of a sudden silent as things have trickled back down. But you look at it, the time frame is similar to this. I think that we're primed for another move back to the highs. And all of a sudden, if this does start to trickle back up and you do get a move back here, what do you think happens on that third touch for CT as a whole? How do you think the timeline all of a sudden reacts to a touch like this? Do you think that at that point, we see one more rejection and things end up cratering down? No, I think, like, it's a point where things really go incredibly viral. You look at the way that they have positioned themselves from building games to having one of the top NFT collections to integrating themselves into consumer stores like Walmart, etc., to being the number one GIF generator out there. It doesn't matter what part of the world you're in, what you're interested in. Most people at this point in time have seen Pudgy Penguins. The narrative just makes too much sense for me for this not. It's going to run to billions. I mean, it's at billions, but I mean, like, I think 10 bill is a pretty easy next step whenever it does reclaim this and touch those highs again, whenever you end up seeing this. Because, like, you can look at what happened with, Bonk, its first year, right? Like, Bonk's first year, I think that I've got to be able to go back to, like, the BitGet chart to be able to get the full, or maybe, no, it's actually, it is the Bybit chart that I'm thinking of. BitGet is for, so look at what happened to Bonk here, right? Bonk from January 2023 to October 2023 was completely dead. A lot of distribution happened in that period, and it took a while before I ended up seeing that massive rally to be able to not only reclaim the highs, but to be able to run past it. You know, that was a course of like, you know, up through there, nearly 11 months of trading. It hasn't even been, you know, it's been about 11 months for Pudgy Penguins right now. Coming up on the year mark, a month off. But it's not ridiculous that it's taken as long as it has to really distribute, build a solid base, and run higher. I saw Pudgy Penguins as a whole with the NFT collection for years. People wrote them off. And you could look at the Pudgy Penguin USDT price, like just in terms of USD, not just ETH, and you looked at a range underneath 10K, and people thought above 10K was a pipe dream. And eventually, when it happened, it looked obvious. And again, I think the same thing's going to happen with Pengu. It makes too much sense to me that during the next run, if you get a run with where Bitcoin runs to hundreds of thousands of dollars, to not have a meme coin, not just run. Like last year, or last cycle, SHIB went to 50 bill plus. I mean, I think $1 isn't as crazy as it sounds for Pudgy Penguins. I just, you know, for Pengu as a whole, I really don't. You know, like I get things have been extended this market. We really haven't had an alt season whatsoever. We haven't really had an alt season for NFTs. We haven't had it for L1s. We haven't had that yet. That's another reason why I still just don't see this as a typical cycle. I think it's extended. I still see the legs up for L1s and for those ecos as a whole coming. I think that there are too many regulatory things in place for it to not happen. And yeah, Pudgy Penguins, I mean, they position themselves well for whenever it does. So let's talk Monad for a second, because I think, you know, a lot of people got a Monad stimmy recently. There was a time where Monad was trading in the pre-market around 40 cents, believe it or not, at the, you know, mid last year. It's at 4 cents right now. So that's a 10x as far as its valuation. You know, right now, let's see. I'm going to check over here on this screen. Sorry. Let's see. CoinGecko. What is the FTV of Monad? I think it's like 3 bill or something. But yeah, their market cap from what's circulating right now, what's in circulation, about 500 mil. Pretty damn cheap. Their FDV, 4.4 bill. You know, it sounds crazy, but at the same time, there are a lot of coins in a similar situation where their FDV is... Here, I'll just move this over here so you guys can see. Sorry for the brightness for anybody that's got a dark room. You know, I should make this dark mode, but... All right, let me see one thing actually real quick. We'll go through some of the Monad trenches here in a bit. What we've seen so far, what looks decent. 10,000 miles and I would walk 500 more. We'll bang the music a little higher while I'm sitting here looking. I like to drink and smoke to take away the pain. You don't remember all your mistakes, and when our hearts are broken, they're out of place. You're not alright. I'm not alright. All right, we're back. Found a good example. You know, Sweet. I'm a big fan of Sweet too. I'm bullish on the eco moving forward. Still have to sound a little bit too loud on the music. 1 second, just a little bit. Like I want y'all to be able to hear. I want, you know, the high energy, but I don't want it to overbear everything else. But Sweet, good example. I mean, this has been more exaggerated in the past. Just remember that, right? Like for the market cap right now, 5.5 bill. The FTV, 15 bill. You know, so there are a lot of examples that are out there right now, similar to Monad, where, you know, like a 15 bill FTV, if it were just tracing on rank alone, would still put Sweet right up there, you know, 11, 12. You know, and it's had as high of an FTV. If you look at like where it was, heck, earlier this year, a 3x from here, 45 bill FTV, it's trading in the top 8. So there are a lot of coins out there that have those type of exaggerated differentials between their FTV and their market cap that just have a low circulating amount, like high flow. And yeah, you know, like I think Mana just has enough connections in the space. Like they've ingrained themselves enough in CT. They've got enough of the VC connections too that, you know, you look at the Coinbase being the first to launch on there, I don't think is insignificant. I think they're primed to do a lot more. I mean, they've got a lot of dApps, a lot of actual working dApps day one, ready to go. Back in the day when we used to get L1s pushed out there, there wasn't really anything built on top of them yet. It was just like, all right, here's the L1. Now developers come, we'll incentivize you with XYZ, but they didn't really think about the fact, let's build the dApps leading up on the testnet, ready to launch on day one, ready to go. And like, you know, we're in a different era. And I mean, it's kind of the standard now, but but I don't know, man. I look through there. One thing that dude, this is still just like slightly too loud for me, at least. If it's too loud if the music's too loud for y'all versus my voice, let me know. I can do something. Gosh, dude, it's almost impossible not to see yourself on camera a little bit out of the corner of your eye whenever you're doing this. And I realized, man, I have let myself go over the course of the past 6 months. I'll call it relationship weight, which it really kind of is. Just have not been as disciplined as I need to be about getting back in the gym. I still, you know, I play a little bit of basketball, a little bit of ultimate frisbee, do the cardio side of things. But my joints are freaking degenerative and they're falling apart on me, so it makes it more difficult to be as consistent with the cardio as I would like to be. But damn, man, like it is so easy whenever you get in a relationship to just kind of like slack off a little bit because it's like, okay, you've done the work, you secured the prize, love my girlfriend, she's awesome, she's hot, like, you know, and then you're kind of like, okay, well, before, without even realizing it, a big part of wanting to look good was you want to look good to be able to attract the right person. So now you've done that and you're like, well, what now? So anyway, yeah, you know, seeing myself a little bit on here, I'm like, dang, man, I got to get back in the gym. But it's okay. It is what it is. It'd also be nice to be able to just have like a choose rich Nick type face where it was like pure rage bait material. Like that guy does it at next level, man. He leans into his strengths. His strengths are he's a nice guy in person. You meet him, like, you know, he's cool. But the way that he's really capitalized on his brand is, you know, like the dude has a schnoz, for instance. And I say that with all due respect. And I think he knows it and he leans into it. And he leans into just like the goofy side of things that like stem from that. And I respect the shit out of it. You know, like I see myself and I'm like, yeah, it's a little bit of a, you know, I'm not saying that I'm not hittable. I'm not punchable. I just don't think that it's quite in as unique of a way as Nick. But yeah, man, like, there's not really been any clear-cut runner on the Monad trenches yesterday. I bought one shitcoin that ended up doing a full Christmas tree stack on me. I felt like I had a good thesis on it, too. I was just waiting on a coin to do this. And there was an official version of it that literally rugged immediately. So this was like the CTO'd version. And it literally made a freaking Christmas tree on me. Like, and I'm still holding my bag. I'm like, you know, shit can bounce back. But it literally went, I bought it. I was like, oh, it's ranging right here. Like, it's a new coin. It's a new chain. Shit's going to go ahead and send, whatever. No, Bob was wrong. Like, it just completely ran it back. And the other side of it, too, is I didn't really know how to buy anything on Monad when it first launched. Like, typically what you do, you just go over here to this corner. Can't really see it because my face is blocking it. But you just click, you know, the trade Mondac USDC. It'll take you to the most liquid pairing. You know, like, heck, I still have a shit ton of this thing because, fuck it, it might bounce, it might not. I've got, like, way too much. I'll if something ever happens, I'm just going to send it to half a CT. But you can't just do Monad straight forward. I don't have much Monad left in here because if you do Monad straight forward, the conversion rate's not too great. So you've got to go Monad, then to like USDC. After you do Monad to USDC, you then have to do USDC for that. And boom, you've got your, like, it works that. But like, I didn't know that. So I was going to all these really illiquid pairings. Like, you know, I went to Uniswap and I went to Pancake Swap to try to buy it. Because I was like, well, shit. I mean, like, you know, I want to be able to, I thought things were going to, did they? No. Like, so I think right now, I still need an 8x to be able to break even. I was at like a 30x prior. But I'm kind of just at the point where I'm like, okay, I think things need to chill a little bit before there's a real runner. Who knows? There might be eventually. But the Monad trenches, I mean, you've got like, I mean, shit, I guess. But this just doesn't look like organic price action to me. Right? This looks like it is just waiting for a pure red candle straight to zero. Same with this. Anytime I see a chart like this, I'm like, dude, that's not organic. That's going to crash. I mean, this looks semi-organic, but at the same time, you know, you can also tell by the number of holders. Like, but at the same time, man, it's like, and also that was definitely it had to have been airdropped to somebody to get that many. But you look at this too, and you're like, it's not really unique. This, again, it's like, this does not look like organic price action to me. I just don't trust it yet. I might end up fading myself for it. Again, okay, perfect example right here. Just go to market cap for some of these, right? Like, this is what a lot of those charts that I just went through look like right now. And, you know, incredibly manipulated supply, price dynamics that end up just getting rugged straight to zero. Kind of like what happened with me over there on the Mollendock, whatever. This might look a little bit more organic. That's kind of tempting, but
Yes, we're in it.
I don't know the lore behind a Nago. I don't know, man. The reason my thesis before was, okay, not all that, but like if you go to the Monad account, like it's their literal freaking, it is their version of Pepe, right? Like how can this shit not end up having a coin that runs? it doesn't make sense to me that it wouldn't, right? Like, so that's why I don't care if my bags are 0. I'll hold it. I think it's got a good narrative. I mean, this is all from their freaking account. And if you look at all the main Monad, whatever, they all talk about the Mollendak. So I think the CTO version of it, who knows, could eventually. Just a bag holder now. But overall, man, like, it's been incredible what they've done. There was a lot of FUD here right after. Ignore all this. I mean, this is obviously from some illiquid pre-market. But right after things launched, it dipped just beneath the Coinbase ICO price. And a lot of people are saying, ah, shit, like, now I'm down and I'm being penalized to hold rather than being able to exit. And all the airdrop recipients were all like, ha ha, look at you. You were an idiot for buying this in the first place. And by being forced to diamond hand it, you know, now all of a sudden, from that 2.5 cent mark, it's up 75%, right? Like, pretty damn impressive rally. And when you look at the historic track record, historic price action for Monad in general, I don't know, man. I think it continues to run. I think the Mollendak wakes up one day too. I just haven't seen any other strong enough narratives yet to convince me of anything else. I appreciate the share, Richie Digital. No way that actually dropped. What dropped A79? Oh, yeah, this was kind of wild. I don't know what the intern was thinking here. I don't know if it was one of those things where it was an exit strategy where they were like, I'm out the door regardless. But just doesn't look like the smartest thing to post from an official account. This looks like a 19-year-old who was grinding on CT, who had the job of connecting. And it's like, dude, if that's the case, what were you doing handing it out to those people in the first place? Like, you know, if you're really going to racially discriminate and you don't like the brand of the people that are out there talking about it, why are you just handing it to everybody? I don't know, man. Some people just do not use their brains in this space. Let's see what we got on. Oh, that's cool. Texas bought Bitcoin. They didn't just seize it, they bought it, which I think is significant. Dude, I feel like I have to talk a little bit about the DAT movement. The more I've thought about it, everybody who said DATs or Luna 2.0 is correct. Like, it's going to be a controversial take. Controversial take. If Bitcoin runs higher from here, DATs are probably still going to run a lot higher. But think about it this way. I'm not sure how many of y'all are familiar with the way that the Terra ecosystem worked with Luna and UST. But basically, as Luna backed UST, and the way that the algo incentivized, basically there was always an incentive to keep UST at $1, right? Like if it went above $1, then you could redeem Luna for UST, which burns the Luna supply. Then people, the ARB, whoever was ARBing at that point, sells the, like, so you sell $1 worth of Luna, say for like $1.05 worth of UST, and then you sell the UST down to the market until it equalizes at $1, right? And that was bullish for Luna on the way up, because as long as there was demand for the underlying blockchain, demand for the, you know, like less supply for Luna, right? Like there was more Luna burned, more UST created, and you just had a really high TVL that ended up being created by the combination of these two things. And it worked on the way down too, right? Like, you know, whenever it went beneath $1, you could burn your UST to then be able to buy Luna, or to be able to, like, say that you had 95 cents is what UST was trading at. Well, guess what? Boom. You redeem that 95 cents of UST for $1 of Luna. And you then dump the $1 of Luna on the market, and boom, you've got, you know, you ARBed. And that worked as long as there was demand for Luna. So where shit really hit the fan was whenever UST started crashing. And say that it was like 80 cents on the dollar. Well, the obvious move at that point, right, is to be able to redeem your UST for $1 worth of Luna. And that works as long as there's demand for Luna to be able to hold that. But guess what? Luna was cratering so fast in price that by the time you redeemed it, you didn't get that full ARB that you were expecting, so it just ended up resulting in this death spiral to zero. So now, what you have with Michael Saylor and what you have with the DATs of the world is like MSTR, the way I view it, is basically equal to UST. It is that $1, you know, stable coin peg. And Bitcoin is what they're backing it with, right? Like Bitcoin is kind of the value proposition. I get that they've got like some software side of the business, but like Bitcoin's their main value proposition. Well, their MNAV, basically what the multiple of their stock versus the value of their assets has been trading at a premium. So what do they do with that premium? Similar to what I described with the Luna UST. I'm turning this down just a little bit while I talk about this because I think it's worth. So similar to like Luna UST, you know, again, if there is that ARB opportunity, they issue more MSTR because it's trading at a premium, right? And like they do it to where they can redeem it at a higher price. Makes sense for whoever, but like, and that makes sense for a while, right? As long as the MSTR is trading at a premium on MNAV, right? Like, but eventually, when it hits a discount, what you saw with a lot of these DATs with what they did recently, their MNAV was like 0.7 or something. So basically, the value of their company as a whole, the multiple, was trading at a significant discount to the value of their assets. So the logical thing that they ended up doing, they sold off some of their assets to be able to then buy back shares of their company. Again, similarly to what was happening with like the UST Luna side of things, right? And that works as long as there's perceived demand for both the underlying asset, which is ETH/Bitcoin, you know, for the majority of these DATs, and as long as there's belief in the value of the company as a whole. But what bites them in the ass is if they then start to sell the underlying asset to be able to redeem for stock, like it just, one, it puts sell pressure on the underlying asset that is backing the value of their company. And two, it kind of backs like the confidence as a whole in the plan, which then shakes investor confidence in the stock, and the stock continues to go lower. And eventually, it doesn't matter what the multiple is. You have to sell all of your assets, and people just continue to dump into it. You know, you can sell all your assets, continue to buy back stock, but it doesn't matter as long as there's stockholders still out there to continue to sell and put pressure and bring it down lower. And eventually, like, it just trends to zero. And, you know, so that's the whole point of this all. It's like, I just don't see how eventually, I don't think right now, again, I'm bullish on where Bitcoin goes from here. I still think the market has a lot higher, but I do think it is going to lead toward years and years and years. An extended bear market is going to be driven by the debts at a certain point in time. It just, when it finally crashes, it is going to be more painful than anything we saw with FTX. More painful than the Celsius collapse. More painful than what we saw with Luna UST. The fallout from all the above. And it's going to take longer to bounce back. It just will. So it works for a point, right? Like it adds the Ponzi to a certain point to be able to run things higher. But eventually it's going to fall apart. MSTR will eventually collapse. I think I'm more confident in that than I have been in a long time. Again, it may take a long time for that to happen, but I think it eventually does. It just, the more I started thinking through the logistics of it, it's like, you know, they're going to continue, like, they have to continue to buy, right? Like, they just do. And eventually, they're not going to continue to be able to trade at a premium. It may bounce back now. It might. You know, they may somehow say the Bitcoin gets frothy again, say that they somehow traded a 2x premium again, but they're going to continue to issue into that. It just makes sense, right? Like UST, if UST were trading at $2 and you've got all this Luna that's sitting there on the side, like people are going to redeem the Luna for UST. They're going to be able to redeem more MSTR for more USD to be able to stack more BTC and continue to dilute shareholders. And eventually there's going to be a point where trust is broken and the death spiral commences. It's just, it hasn't happened yet, but I do think that it will for the majority of DATs. Maybe not an entire collapse, but I don't know, man. It's going to be rough when it does happen. And it's something that kind of just hit me recently. You know, people had talked about it before, but it's the first time that it really made sense. still think that's a ways off. I crazy enough to believe that Bitcoin's still, you know, I talked through where I think that we are in the cycle with QQQ, where we are with BTC as a whole, how I think that we ended up running back to new highs next year, that 2026 is going to be lit. Like, I believe all the above. You know, I believe in an extended bull market too. Heck, probably runs through 2027. You know, if we get a rally next year like I expect. But sometime in that time frame, like call it 2027, 2028, like probably going to be pretty damn rough. All right, it's my rant on DATs. I'll move the volume a little bit higher again. See what we got in the notifications. Gosh, this CT is dead, man. I just want to see this a billion somehow. It's gonna go to 0. But I believe in billions.
It's been a long day without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about
Santa rally, baby.
you again.
Little cool off into the new year, and then absolutely rip.
And I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on.
Obvious, haven't I made it clear? Want me to spell it obvious? F-R-I-N-D-S, F-R-I-N-D-S.
Just remember what your old past is. Boy, you gotta figure it.
As we go on, we remember we will still be friends forever.
And your best friend all strung out.
Can we still be friends?
And you say he just a friend. Oh, baby, you got what I need.
Oh, you're my best friend.
Call me crazy, but I'll be with my homies.
All my friends are watching. I can hear them talking. All my friends are watching.
Friendship never ends.
'Cause we are your friends. You never be alone again.
F-R-I-N-D-S.
Said I'll always be your friend. Took an oath, I'ma stick it out to the end.
Just remember
All right, what else are we looking for on here?
Oh, you're my best friend.
And I'll be your friend.
You're my best friend.
I'll help you carry on.
My best friend.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
In this world of uncertainty and disarray, people far and wide have been searching for Big Booty Man's whereabouts. Too
So many spam shills in the comments.
Fiercely protected them throughout the years. Whispers of his name and claims of his arrival have abounded. The world anxiously awaits his move.
All right, bros. It's been about an hour. It's been fun. Think we should all be more bullish. Not the time to walk away. Appreciate everybody for joining. We're going to run it back. Going to keep trying to do more of these. Not sure if I'm going to be able to with Thanksgiving break coming up, but
We walk these streets.
it's been fun, man.
Every
Catch y'all next time.
Big Booty Land. The journey that brought us here.